You already know something is wrong. You can feel it. Maybe it started as something small, a comment that landed the wrong way, a moment where you felt completely invisible, or a fight that ended without actually ending. And now there is this quiet tension sitting between you and the person you care about most. You are not arguing every single day, but you are not really connecting either. And that distance, that invisible wall, that is what terrifies you most. Because you can feel the relationship slowly slipping, and you do not know how to stop it. Here's what most people do not tell you. By the time a relationship feels broken, the damage did not happen overnight. It happened in tiny moments that were never addressed. A frustration that got swallowed instead of expressed. A need that was never communicated. A pattern that repeated itself so many times it became the new normal. And before you knew it, you were living side by side with someone you once felt completely connected to, and wondering how you both got so far apart. That feeling is one of the loneliest feelings in the world, and if you are watching this right now, I want you to know that I genuinely understand what you are carrying. Now, before we go deeper into this, there are related programs linked in the description of this video. These resources go far beyond what we can cover in a single video, and they are built for people who are serious about turning things around. Not just understanding the problem, but actually solving it. If you already know your relationship needs more than just general advice, do not wait. Scroll down and check those out now, because the people who get results are the ones who act before the situation gets worse, not after. Most people will watch this, nod along, and do nothing, but you are not most people, are you? Now let us get into the real work. The number one reason relationship conflicts get worse is not because two people are incompatible, it is because both people are waiting for the other person to go first, waiting for the other person to apologize first, to reach out first, to change first, and while both people are waiting, the distance grows. Researchers who study relationship dynamics consistently find that unresolved conflict compounds over time. One unresolved argument does not stay one argument. It becomes the emotional lens through which every future interaction is filtered. That means a misunderstanding 6 months ago is secretly influencing how you interpret a simple text message today. Think about the last time you and your person argued. Did it actually get resolved, or did it just stop? Because there is a massive difference between a conflict that ends and a conflict that gets resolved. When it just stops, when you both go quiet and move on, the unspoken feelings do not disappear. They sink, they accumulate, and they come back louder the next time something triggers them. Here is the painful truth that no one wants to admit. Most people in struggling relationships are not falling out of love, they are falling into disconnection. And disconnection is a pattern, not a destiny. Patterns can be changed, but only when you understand how they work. Let us talk about the cycle that is probably happening right now in your relationship. One person feels unheard or unseen. They either pull away or they push harder. The other person responds to that behavior, not to the original feeling underneath it. And now you are both reacting to each other's reactions instead of actually talking to each other. This cycle can spin for years, decades even. And the entire time, both people genuinely believe the other person is the problem. Both people are hurting, both people are waiting. Both people feel misunderstood. Couples who break out of this cycle all tend to have one thing in common. They stopped waiting for the other person to change and started changing the dynamic themselves, not because they were wrong, but because they were ready to stop suffering. One of the most powerful things you can do in a relationship conflict is shift from defending yourself to understanding the other person's emotional experience, not agreeing with them, not abandoning your own perspective, but genuinely getting curious about what they are feeling underneath the words they are using. Because when someone is angry at you, underneath that anger is almost always hurt. And when someone shuts down on you, underneath that silence is almost always fear. Fear of not mattering, fear of being rejected, fear of being too much or not enough. When you can respond to the fear underneath the behavior instead of the behavior itself, everything shifts, not theoretically, practically, immediately. The relationships that survive hard seasons are not the ones where both people are perfectly emotionally regulated and never say the wrong thing. They are the ones where both people are committed enough to keep choosing each other even when it is uncomfortable. And that choice starts with understanding, not perfection. Now let us talk about time, because here is something that matters deeply. The longer you let a relationship wound go unaddressed, the harder it becomes to heal. Studies in relationship psychology show that every day of unresolved emotional disconnection increases the emotional labor required to repair the relationship later. That is not meant to scare you. That is meant to give you permission to take this seriously right now, not next week, not when things calm down, right now. And the cost of inaction is real. People who stay in unresolved relational patterns for years report significantly higher levels of anxiety, lower self-worth, physical health impacts from chronic stress, and a deepening sense of isolation even when they are technically not alone. The relationship that was supposed to be your safe place becomes another source of stress, and that is not what either of you wanted when you started this. But here is the other side of that coin. And this is where things get genuinely hopeful. When two people break through a cycle of disconnection, even a long-standing one, the emotional bond that forms on the other side is often stronger than what they had before the conflict ever started. Because now they know they can survive something hard together. They have proven to each other that the relationship is worth fighting for. That is a level of security that cannot be faked or rushed. It has to be earned. And it creates a depth of trust that transforms not just how you relate to each other, but how you each show up in your own lives. People who repair their relationships describe feeling lighter. Like a weight they had carried so long they forgot it was there suddenly lifted. They describe laughing again, reaching for each other again, feeling like partners again instead of roommates navigating around each other. They describe sleeping better, performing better at work, feeling more patient with everyone else in their lives because the one relationship that was draining everything was finally restored. That is what is on the other side of doing this work. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not as wide as it feels right now. It just requires the right understanding, the right tools, and most importantly, the right decision. The decision to stop waiting for the situation to fix itself and to start actively choosing a different outcome. Here is something that the most successful couples understand that struggling couples do not. Relationships are not found, they are built, every single day. And the moments that feel like the end are actually the moments that contain the most potential for transformation, if you know what to do with them. You now know more than most people ever will about what is actually happening in your relationship and why. That knowledge puts you ahead. But knowledge without action is just discomfort that feels slightly more organized. The real shift happens when you decide to do something with what you know. The related programs in the description below this video exist for exactly this moment. The moment where you are ready to stop reading about the problem and start solving it. These programs are designed for people who are serious, not curious, serious. If that is you, scroll down right now and take a look. Because the version of your relationship that you want is not a fantasy. It is a decision away. And the only question is whether you will make that decision today or keep waiting for a better time that never quite arrives.